So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on doing a corner to corner crochet pattern using 8-ply yarn and doing a half double crochet technique rather than a double crochet technique. So we start down in this corner here, so we're going to start with green. So you want to put your yarn on your hook. You want to do 4 chains. So then we want to do 1 half double crochet in here and then 1 in here. So for a half double crochet, so you wool over, then you pull your wool through, and then you go back over and you go through all 3. Okay, so once again, great, and then we're going to turn. So then we want to go into this space here that we've made. So we'll same again, but we'll do our 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 1, 2. And then we want to slip stitch into this space here. So we put a hook in, we'll grab our yarn, and then we do chain 2, 1, 2, and these are the ones here. So we've got our 1, 2, 3. So then we keep going. So we turn it. And I like to, when I'm following a pattern like this, I like to draw arrows so I know which way I'm going. So we'll go down, and then we went up, and now we're going down. It just makes it easier to know where you're up to on your pattern and when you've got to change colours. So we've got our 3, 1, 2, 3. So then we flip it. So now we're going down with our 3. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we count 1, 2, so we're going to go into this one, sorry, it's a bit out of view then. So I want to slip stitch into this space. 1, 2. Great. So now we've got 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to go up. So we're going up. And now, if we look at our pattern, we're going to switch to orange. So we've done that one. So before we slip stitch into here, we're going to bring in our orange. So we just drop our green, leave a bit of a tail on, and we'll just bring our orange over So we slip stitch in, grab our orange, grab our orange, pull it through. Now just hold on to your tail there, just so it doesn't get too loose, and then pull your green as well, and then our 2 chains, 1, 2, and then we do our half double crochets. So because it's a half double crochet, which is a shorter stitch, that's why we're only doing the chains of 2, and then we're only doing the 2 half double crochets in there, because with the traditional corner to corner method where you're using double crochets, they're obviously a lot longer stitch, so to get that square shape is why we're doing these ones. So come back to our pattern again, so we need to do another orange. So we stay with orange, we slip stitch in, 1, 2, so now following our pattern we need to go back to our green, so we drop our orange, sorry it's a bit tangled, and then we just pick up our green and bring our green to where we need it, and then we slip stitch, pull it through. So now we're back to our green, so we slip stitch on, we've got our green, so we do our 2 chains and then our 2 half double crochets. Okay, I've just done these 2. So we've got 1 and 2, so 1 and 2. So now we're going down. So now we need to change to blue. So an important point is to make sure you keep all of your ends at the back and designating the back as the side of, so when you're holding it with the right side to you, that it follows the pattern. It just makes it a lot easier to know where you're up to. So once again we're going to bring in blue, so we can leave a bit of a tail, and we want to go in and then so in and then slip stitch with our blue and just hold. So now we've got our blue on, and we just so just want to pull it tight to make sure it's really neat, and then we do our 2 chains and then our 2 half double crochets, and then we're going back to green, so we just drop that and then we get our green, we pull our green up, so then we go in and then we pick up our green, pull it through, so there we have it. And if we look at our pattern, so we've got our 2 greens, we've got our blue, and then we've got our 2 greens. Now, because on this one we're not increasing any further, we've got to start decreasing, because now we're going up here, so we need to start decreasing. So when we flip it around, instead of doing our chains to increase, what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into this spot here, and then we're going to do our 2 chains, and then we're going to do our 2 half double crochets into the side here. So that is that one there. So then we need to do our 2 oranges. So we drop our green, and because this is our side with all our ends on it, this is where our colours are. So we drop our green, and then we slip stitch our orange up, and then we do our chains and our half double crochets, and then we need a second orange, so same thing, so in, and then we've got to drop our orange, and then we pull up our green, so we then want to slip stitch in, now here we are. So if we look at our pattern, we've just done this on here. So once again, we're not increasing, so we need to move on to this one. So how we do it, so we need a slip stitch into this spot here, and then we need a slip stitch into the next one, and now we're going to be doing this row here. Put our 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then into this one here, slip stitch, then flip it over, and then we're going to do 2 slip stitches. Alright, so we've done our 3 down, and then we're going to do our 2 up, and then our 1, and I'll see at the end. So now we've finished, and we've just slip stitched onto that last one. You can see here, matches our little grid. So what a lot of people do is they like to do a single crochet border to neaten it up. If you're doing a bigger blanket, you can do whatever you want around the border. So you've got all your ends. So to neaten up at the back, so we just, oh sorry, my scissors are a bit blunt. So then we've got all our little ends. So then what you just do is you just tie them off and then trim them and then weave your ends in. So to calculate how big you want, like how big your blanket's going to be, for example. So for this one here, it's 5 by 5. So if we measure it, it's about 4 centimeters. So if we divide our 4 centimeters by our 5 squares, it gives us a figure of how many centimeters each square is. And then we can calculate how big our blanket or our project's going to be based off of that, because it's done in squares. So this was using a 3 hook, and our yarn is 8 ply, and this is using the half double crochet technique for a corner to corner crochet project.